I'm sitting here with the Mac Wiseman, who is just one of the legendary bluegrass and country musicians, and it's a great honor to be sitting here talking to you. Thanks for talking to us.
Well, glad you came by, Mike. It's a pleasure to meet you, and if you give me a chance, I'll try one of those old songs on. What do you think?
That would be great.
Okay.
What is this one?
About Be All Smiles Tonight, if I could remember that.
Okay. I'll do my best to follow you.
I'll deck my brow with roses, the loved one may be there. The gems that others gave me will shine in my hand, and who know me will think my heart is light. My heart may break tomorrow, but I'll be yours tonight. And when I slept the words too. We'll just take out a little bit of that one.
Okay, that was great. I just love hearing that voice in person. I've been listening to it for years. There's a a bunch of songs you sing that I know. Would you sing "I Wonder How the Old Folks Are at Home"?
Yeah, by G.
G.
I wonder how the old folks are at home. I wonder if they listen while I roll. I wonder if they pray for the boy who went away, but left his dear old parents all alone. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane, see the fields of bluegrass where I'd roam. You could almost hear them cry as they kissed their boy goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are at home. Just the village and the homestead on the farm, and a mother's love to she from old arms. A sweetheart fond and true, a sweetheart that loves you. A village and the homestead on the farm. You could hear the cattle mooing in the lane, see the fields of bluegrass where I roam. You could almost hear them cry as they kissed their boy goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are at home.
Oh, thank you, Mac. So you're called the voice with the heart. Now, how did you get that title, and how does that come into your singing?
Well, Don Owens, who was a very popular disc jockey in the Washington area,
Okay.
and he and I were great friends, and he gave me that tag and started calling me that, and then it became a nationally known thing,
Mm-hmm.
But he loved the story songs, and
Mm-hmm.
had a very unexpected and tragic death. He had a car wreck and killed him along about 63, I think it was. But he knew the old songs and the history of them, and he just lived his music, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the guy that gave me that tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you sing, I mean, there's such a palpable sense of emotion, and and also the stories come through. I mean, what do you think about when you sing? To breathe life into a song.
I actually lived those things, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I remember very vividly, and this might sound like it's off out of character, but when I was about 4 years old was the first story type song that I remember hearing. And it was an old English ballad called Granny's Old Armchair.
Uh-huh.
And I just loved the story songs all along. My dad had one of the first hand-wound photographs in our community, and when I was sick a lot with the polio leg, and he'd sit it down on the floor and let me play the old records that were scratchy so I wouldn't hurt them, you know.
Uh-huh.
But that's has always been my forte, so to speak, is to do this story type song, something you could live, you know, that people could identify with. And
What happens when what do you do when you're singing a song that's, you know, maybe not from your own personal experience, but
well, I try to do it naturally and do it my way. I've done a few off-color things. I Hear You Knocking and One Man Julep, and Woody Herman and I with a big band later recorded My Blue Heaven, and Billy Vaughn used to produce some things for me. So as the music changed, I tried to throw in a little bit, get my feet wet, you know.
Well, that's a point. Is that, I mean, your career in music goes back to the early 1940s, right? And it's just a staggering career. I mean, just all the different kinds of music you've been involved in. And I know, like, some people might know you from your work with Bill Monroe. I believe I've heard you complain that, you know, some people maybe focus a little bit too much on your work with Bill Monroe, and I get that, because you've done so much other kinds of stuff.
Definitely identified with bluegrass music, and I've tried to fight that terminology from the standpoint that the top 40 stations wouldn't play what they call bluegrass. So I just want to be country music or a balladeer or whatever, you see. But the Bluegrass Festival concept has come along, and I played all of those and got that tag. But I also, in the early 60s, played a lot of the colleges. I sat down in my office and wrote to every college radio station in the United States and offered them a couple of albums if they could fit their programming, and we got a tremendous response.
Well, that was during the time of the folk revival, where I think a lot of bluegrass musicians.
Exactly. I played I played Mariposa in Toronto, and the New York Folk Festival, and the Newport Festival many a times, and I actually did my regular repertoire, and they accepted it as folks concept. And I played Carnegie Hall twice, once with Johnny Cash and once with the Newport Folk Festival, and then when I played like the Mariposa, why Doc Watson would be there, and I can't think now of some of the others. But they were the leaders in the bluegrass, the folk field, so I got that.